Hi there, my name is Fred Renowit. Today we are going to take a line drawing, something like this, and we're going to use Inkscape 1.1 to trace that image so that it can become a vector file so that we can cut a decal or cardstock or whatever you're going to cut using a Cricut maker. So again, with these scans of the line drawings are bitmaps, and there's thousands of points in this, and so the Cricut maker cannot interpret this because it's a bitmap, and while it looks like a line to our eyes, the Cricut maker needs a vector file. So let's see how that's done. Okay, when you use Inkscape to sketch a line drawing, what you're going to do is you're going to open up Inkscape, start a new document, and then what you're going to do is you're going to import in your scanned in JPEG. Now what I did is I scanned in a former, this is the part that goes into a model airplane, and the plan just to have a simple line drawing. So it's just it was a piece of paper with a pencil drawing, so you get just a simple line, but we need the shape as an SVG so that we can cut a piece of balsa wood, or we can make a decal or a cardstock pattern or something like that. But first we need to trace the image. So you're going to import in the JPEG. Now you can see here that I've got the shape here. So when I scanned this in from the drawing, it was just a line drawing, all against white paper. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add layer 2, and this is going to become important because we're going to want to hide this feature here to see what we've got traced. So we're going to add layer 2. You want to make layer 2 active so that the only thing on layer 1 is the imported image. Now we're going to be using this one down here, draw Bezier curves. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm not sure. However, we're going to be tracing around in here. Now when I first sketched this, I'm outside of the line, but I'll show you here in a minute how we're gonna deal with that. It makes it easier to kind of go outside the line, if you will. And I'm only doing a portion of this part for this demonstration. Now when you get to the end, you want to close this thing up. So when you're going to get to your starting point, and then double click that, so you end up with a curve that goes all the way around. So you can see here, that's with the original line drawing removed, and then we bring it back. Now obviously it's not in the right spot, so now we're going to have to move it. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom up on all of this so that it's easier. Now if you notice here, from here to here, it's a straight line. This is actually a curve. In any curve, if you get enough little straight lines in between, it kind of approximates a curve. So we only have 3 points, if I recall here. So, but there's a step to get that working correctly. So we're going to pick this icon up here and then pick our object. And we're going to get to these in a minute here. But what we're going to do is we're going to drag this point and we're going to stick it right on top. We're going to put these points on the middle of the line, like so. And so we're just going to go around and move all of these to be right on top of the scanned image that we brought in. The scanned image really can't be used to drive the Cricut because it's a bitmap with thousands of points of light along this bitmap. Unlike the solid color where we used the Inkscape to sketch around the solid color, that's a different situation. This one, we have to kind of manually trace all these points around. And we're going to move them in the right spot. Now this tangency right here, you can kind of see where this becomes a straight line and then it starts curving, and so you kind of have to eyeball that. And you can really see here how these are just straight lines in between 2 points. So we're going to be moving this point to follow along this line. So if we zoom back, and this is the reason for layer 2, is to kind of see if we've kind of captured the shape correctly. So there's our curve that's with all the points moved. So we're good there. So now the next step is to make this a smooth curve. Make this and this and this a smooth curve. To illustrate that, let's do something here. We're going to take, I'm just going to make something up here. Okay, so those are just a bunch of straight lines. Now if you have to pick this, and then you have to pick your curve to get the points to show up. Now this guy here makes a corner. Now a corner is where it's not going to make a smooth transition using the next point. It's going to be a corner. It's going to be like this is a corner, that's a corner, that's a corner. This is a corner because we're going straight up and then over. So if you're in this mode, you're going to pick your point, then you're going to do that. Now it doesn't change the shape, but you have to do 1 point at a time. So now we have selected these three points to be hard corners. In other words, they don't move. The line doesn't change an angle or anything. But now we're going to make this, and this a smoother curve. And that's what we're going to use this for. So we're going to take this guy, we're going to pick here. Notice that it kind of smoothed that out. And that. And then this. So now we have our original straight lines, and then we have this smoother curve. Now you can, let's go back here. If you do this, you can change the shape around. If you take these handles, you can kind of give it a different shape altogether, and that's, so these can be moved to be tangent, you can make that straighter and have it kind of curve around differently. So, and that's all however you want it to look. Now the reason why I showed you that is because that's exactly what we're going to do up here. I want this, and this to be a smooth curve to match the scan that we have. So you can imagine here now, we're going to do these as corners. So this is a corner, that is a corner, and you can do these in whatever order you want, I think. But I like to get all the corners established first. And remember where you put the corners. And then what you're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we want these 1, 2, 3, 4 straight lines to become a smooth curve. So we're going to pick this, and we're going to make that, this, that. So now you can see that's a much smoother looking curve, and if I had them different colors or somewhat hidden, you might be able to tell how closely you match the scan. Then the same thing would be done down here. You would make these smooth using this tool, and also with this. And so, but now to make this a cardstock cutout or a decal or anything like that with the Cricut, we need, it doesn't understand lines, so it needs to be a solid color. So what we're going to do, we're going to fill this with a color. So it's under Object, Fill, and you're gonna pick it. I don't think it matters what color you pick unless you're doing some artwork where you want an exact color. But for what we're doing, for what I'm doing, just to make a decal, I just need a color in there. And so what it did is it filled that sketched in line, and you can see why we have one closed loop. Then you would save as, an SVG. The SVG is going to be brought into the Cricut software, and then you'd make that, and then that goes just one quick step, and you can make a part. Okay, so off camera, I finished out this entire balsa part here as it was designed on the set of plans. And as you can see here, if I turn off layer 2, which is the trace that the manual trace that we did, and I have layer 1, which is the scan, and I bring back this, so I've got the filled in file which has all the curves in here to fit the scan. Now I got a corner here, 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 and here. So I've got those corners, but everywhere else it's an approximation. It's an approximation using either this as a corner or this smooths the curve. Now you can see here on some of these parts I didn't have that many points. Now I had more points up here where it was a nice tight radius, but in this bigger area I was able to get away with fewer points, or nodes if you will. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep layer 2 turned off, and I'm going to keep layer 1 turned off, layer 2 turned on, and it's got the sketch, and it's all filled in with the color. And again, the color doesn't matter unless you're doing something where it does matter. So now we do the save as. And I've already saved this over as an SVG here. So it's an SVG file. I'm just going to replace it. So now we've got the SVG file. So now we need to go into the Cricut Design space. Okay, so the next step is to bring our SVG into the Cricut Design space software, where we are going to. It's actually the easiest part of this whole process is this part here. So new project. And I've got a blank canvas, but let's upload it again. So you can that SVG is going to be in a folder somewhere. You're going to grab it. We're going to grab this guy, we're going to add it to the canvas. Now we've got two items here. I'm going to turn off. I'm going to turn both of them off to see what they are. So there's the blue. So I'm This one I don't need, so I'm going to cut that out, and I'll just be left with one item. And this I can go straight to, well, once you have to size it. You have to make it the size you want. Right now I got it really big. And so then it's the same steps. I've got a Cricut Maker 3, so I'm going without a mat. I'm not going to actually go through the next steps, but these are all the same steps that you would normally do. You would have your machine on, and then you would send it over there. But the hard part was done with the Inkscape and on tracing the image, filling it with the solid, and then making the SVG. Talk to you later. Bye. Well, thank you for watching. If you fly control line models and you're in the St. Louis area, come and join us at Booter Park. We fly control line there since 1960. So, and you'll see a lot of decals and stickers on the model airplanes that can be cut with a Cricut, and when they will use those on the model airplanes as a paint mask or as a decal itself. Talk to you later. Bye.